Good morning, beautiful people. How is it going out there? Happy Thursday, August 1st to you. Let me bring B in. Good morning, Brandon. How's it going?
Good morning, Mom. It's going good. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Good, good, good.
Happy August 1st, and this is your birthday month. How about
It
that?
is. It is. How about that? Happy
Yeah.
birthday to me, and to you, because you're the only one that gave birth in that situation. So,
Oh, to God. I
well,
didn't even
welcome,
give it.
welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get right into it. Hope you guys are doing okay. Say hello to us. Oh, we got some people that
Who
have
we got?
already
Who we
jumped
got?
in. Well, we got Miss Kayla says good morning. We got Big Mike that says good morning. And Kayla says, when is your B day, Brandon?
August 13th. August 13th.
August 13. August 13.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? So how y'all doing this morning? How did you apply? We're gonna keep it short and sweet. I promise you this morning. I absolutely have to. So I'm gonna just put that disclosure out there today. But how does anybody want to talk about how the day went for you, or tell us? And we have to put it out there, you guys. If you ever want to come in with us on a one of these days and share, be here in the kind of studio, not studio. Let us know. We'll bring you in. We'll get you the link so that you can come right in with us. But how did yesterday go for you? Drop us a comment and let
Let us
us
know.
know how
Let us
that
know.
was for you. All right. So, excuse me.
No problem. How's that voice? You ain't getting sick on me, are you?
I think I'm just a bit fatigued. That's all. I think I need a
Mm,
bit of rest. You know how it kind of
good.
gets. So I'll
Yeah, I
be
feel you.
fine. I'll be fine. After today, I'll be fine. So I'm going
Well,
to make
good.
it happen.
I sent
Yeah,
over the Instagram key for you so we can get our Instagram users up and going.
I
And
am.
I'm actually in a similar position. I'm not, don't have any sickness or voice or anything like that that's leaving, but I'm just sore. Things are swollen, knuckles are swollen from punching, ankles are swollen from standing up and working outside all day. But I got some good sleep though. I slept hard. I slept hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
huh.
Everything good?
Yeah, give me just a minute. Save. Why does it say it's already? Are you already streaming?
No.
No. Y'all, they just give us such a hard
I
time,
know,
don't
right? I can do another one. Want me to try it again?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
Let me just do what we do, and let me just see why it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Well, while you do that, I'm gonna go ahead and lead us in, if that's cool with you. And then if you have any
Well,
issues, you
I
let me
think if you could try it now, that way, because we don't want to lose it. Go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll get right into it. I'll read some comments because we have more. Um, let's see. Kayla
punch it.
says, "More."
What do you mean? Sorry, you said punch it in.
I mean, you
Punch what?
should get something to go live. I've sent it to
Okay,
you.
okay, gotcha. Thank you so
So,
much, Bill.
morning. Let's see. Okay, here we go. We got another one just came in. So let me go back up. Kayla says, morning, great. Yesterday, the interview at the elementary school went really great. I should hear something back by tomorrow or Tuesday. Big ups, big up. If it's for you, no problem there. If not, then there's something else for you, right? All good things are coming your way. Big Mike says, was a great productive day. Started with a new teammate and got a chance to see my mom and sister. I'm going to talk about that union here in just a minute. Kayla says, also, Brandon, we are official. We found a contract with we signed a contract with SEFC.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
with Dan
We'll be
Shield.
working. Okay. We'll be working with them. And she says signed,
Good job,
right?
Kayla. That's awesome.
Yeah. And Mike says was able to deliver my sister a surprise gift that was given to her. He's going to give my surprise away. How you going to do that? This is my surprise. Mine. I don't say mine. But yeah, y'all, Miss Davis, I was trying to wait to see if she was going to pop in. Miss Davis, if you're out there, please, please, please say good morning, great morning, or great everything. I meant to bring the book in here, but I got a wonderful gift sent by Miss Davis, sent by my brother from Miss Davis. So I'll share. It was a book. It is a book, and I'll share. It meant the world to me. So I'll share it here before we get off the show. I'll have to bounce out and go get it. But before we get off, I want to, just gracefully thank her because it was a gift from her heart to my heart, and it just made my day. So
Mhm.
thank you, Miss Davis.
Good job. Good job. Thank you so much, Miss Davis. I saw that that gift and saw the smile on my mom's face, and it was very thoughtful. So, Miss Davis, appreciate that, man, for loving on my mama. And I say
Much
mama,
appreciated.
my mama. But
I'm
welcome,
your
y'all. Welcome to the In This Season podcast, day 180 something, maybe 183, 84. I'm not sure, but I think it's 183. Okay, cool, cool. So welcome to day 183 consecutive of the In This Season podcast, where the powerful duo, my mother over there, and then myself here, are reading through Daily Motivations for African American Success. Daily Motivations for African American Success. Can you see that book right there without the blur? There you
I
go.
always get mad when I see your book. Look at my book. Okay,
Yeah,
there
you
you
got
go.
to get another one. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, you know, you keep bringing a peanut butter sandwich to the party, and complaining about your sandwich.
You're so right. Yeah. You're so right.
No, I'm just messing. But
No, no, no. You're right.
am I right? Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, welcome everybody. Okay, again, we read through this book every single day. It starts with a title, a quote from some distinguished African American throughout history, and then after reading a short passage, usually about how we can better obtain success in our lives, personally, intrapersonally, um, um, internally, externally. Then after that, we come to an affirmation that we read 3 times to help us motivate one another towards success, help inspire us to keep that fire burning that we need every day to do our best, to go out there and achieve our goals. So daily motivations for African American success will help you focus on your thoughts, the attitudes, and the deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. In 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, the author of popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. So each motivation begins again with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hill, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches will last you a lifetime. And every person that has attended this, from my understanding, that attends this regularly, understands and sees the benefit in those lessons that will last us a lifetime. And I'm sure that you guys have been like me and you've told someone or shared some of the information that you've learned, if not with a share of the video, but a share of the consciousness, a share of the good word, a share of the concern, a share of the insights that we've learned from this. So for that, I say thank you. And may God bless us all with the benefit of this conversation and give us some good blessings and some good mojo for sharing it with others, right? So each one teach one, and the best teachers are the best learners to
Amen.
me, right? So I'm here learning just as much as you all. I have not read these passages to review them, or I don't have a study guide, and neither does my mother have a study guide. This is coming straight from the heart, from the hip, and from our minds, from just from our spirits, right? So we wake up every morning at 7 a.m. to do this for you, and to do this for ourselves. So again, speaking to ourselves first, teaching ourselves first, we are on the path of self-correction. So join us for our next passage, our next reading of Daily Motivations for African American Success. Mom?
I'm good. Good.
Sounds good. Well, I got my coffee now. My lovely wife
I
has
know,
brought
right?
this coffee, so I'm a lot of that. Mm. She makes it so much better than me. So much better than me. I'm
She makes
serious.
it with
Huh?
some love. It's
I
different.
guess
It's different.
I guess I don't love myself because hers tastes extra different. Like I make it and it tastes good, but maybe it's just something different about someone else making the coffee for you. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I don't know what it is,
Maybe, maybe.
but I
Look
know it's
at you. You
good.
can't even get into it.
I can't. I'm telling you, I need that right there. So, all right, guys. Today is August 1st, my birthday month. My birthday month, and our first title for the month of August is the war on poverty. Again, the war on poverty. And our quote comes from Damon Wayans, an actor and comedian. Y'all all know Damon Wayans. He said, I grew up so poor that plenty of nights I had to sleep for dinner. He said, I grew up so poor that plenty of nights I had to sleep for dinner. Wow. And the passage goes, before her death in 1934, entrepreneur and
Brandon,
publisher. Hmm?
Brandon,
Hmm?
if you don't
Yes.
mind, I had sleep. I had sleep, not to sleep. I had
I
sleep
had
changes.
sleep for dinner.
Does yours say? Because mine doesn't have the two in it.
No, it doesn't. I just think I just read over it.
That changes the game.
It does. It does. Let's read that again, okay? Damon Wayans said, I grew up so poor that plenty of nights I had sleep for dinner, meaning he ain't eat. He had sleep for dinner. I get it. Okay, cool, cool. Thanks for that
Yes,
correction, Mom.
yes, yes.
Before her
Yeah,
death
because
in
it
19,
does. It changes the game here.
it does, it does. Thank you again. All right, we're going to jump right back into it, y'all. All right. Before her death in 1934, entrepreneur and publisher Maggie L. Walker gave her prescription for Black progress. In a lengthy newspaper column, she wrote, God help those who are doing, striving. God helps those who are doing and striving. Ours is a poor lot, but our spirits must remain full and rich. Though faced with poverty, Walker was more concerned with the spiritual side of prosperity. Lack, limitation, or poverty is simply a state of consciousness. An empty pocketbook may spell poverty to millions of people, but it is only because they have lost sight of the true picture. Opportunity abounds whether one sees it or not. A wealthy man may fall asleep and dream that he is poor. In his dream, he has all the experiences of poverty, but it is still only a dream. Finally, he awakens and he is wealthy again. The only effort required in this frightening experience is the awakening. In a very real sense, your need in the face of apparent lack is to awaken and realize that you live and breathe in a sea of abundance. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's a quotation. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Your miracle of abundance is ready for you. Awaken from the illusion of limitation. Lift up your eyes. Turn away from empty pockets. You can find unlimited opportunity where you stand. The place to overcome lack, unemployment, and financial strife is in the state of your thinking. The person who has a consciousness of limitation, whose cup is upside down under the faucet of prosperity, will always experience hardship in tough times. We must change the quote, war on poverty to a program of education for abundance. And our affirmation and inspiration at the bottom of the page, the one liner that we read to inspire ourselves to give us fire for the rest of the day. We read this 3 times, one time for you, one time for me, and one time for the person that you're going to share this with. It says, from this day forward, I will be spiritually attuned to the unlimited prosperity that lies at my feet. Again, from this day forward, I will be spiritually attuned to the unlimited prosperity that lies at my feet. And last time, from this day forward, I will be spiritually attuned to the unlimited prosperity that lies at my feet. Over to you, Mom. What do you think about this?
Um, so the war on poverty. If you've been here, you've heard me say this. I think this is a word. I believe this is a word. The word poverty that we've let get away from us. Meaning, the definition of poverty versus what it really means in our lives. And I wonder if we did a poll here of how many people feel that they grew up in poverty, and if we were able to sit in the seat of that and examine it, would they see themselves as like they started in it from a place of poverty, right? Because as we talk about poverty, yes, there's a worldly poverty, meaning that by that I mean we may measure ourselves up to other people's standard of success, where we've been talking about here for 183 days that success is an internal process, it's an inner being, right? So poverty is defined here, or this particular one that I pulled up. Poverty, the state of one who lacks a usual or socially acceptable amount of money or material possessions, right? Socially acceptable amount of money or material possessions. Poverty is said to exist when people lack the means to satisfy their basic needs. In this context, the identification of poor people first requires a determination of what constitutes basic needs. Brandon, you are the sayer, or the first person that I ever heard say, when our wants become our needs, this world will change, right? So at first would be examining, what is poverty? Do you have your basic needs? What is basic needs? And then mindset, your thoughts. How often do we say on this show, take every thought captive and measure it, right? Against the word of God. That's always going to win. How you think. What does the back of our book tell us? If there's any power that can reverse the fortunes of race, it is character, writes Dennis Kimbro. Every thought which enters our mind. And he says, enter. Who's putting it? Who's allowing it to enter? Who's receiving it? Right? Who's pressing that okay button to accept the thought? And in most cases, the thought comes from our childhood, right? And we stay there. So let's look at a few things, and right now I'm going to turn it over to you. Um, it says the war, let me go back a bit. We must change the war on poverty to a program of education for abundance. When you guys get off the show, or sometime today, Google education for abundance. You will be surprised as to what you will find. Education for abundance. I actually found a school with that name, a school for K through 12. So it must be kind of a private school, right? To have all grades there. Imagine them teaching them, right? Especially in a area. Remember the story, Ruby Payne, I think it is, where the young man says, "We don't make A's in this neighborhood. You know what I'll do if I make straight A's?" Basically, you know how they will hound me. We don't do that here. We're not going anywhere. This is as far as it's inevitable. I don't remember what day that was, what show that was, Brandon, but it's inevitable. So it's our fate. We're stuck here. But what is here? And what's wrong with being stuck there as a community if we come together? So that's what we're losing here. the site of community thriving together. So Google education for abundance. And then I'll go back and I'll pass it over to you. The place to overcome lack, unemployment, and financial strife is in the state of your thinking. So a man thinketh, so he is. So a man thinketh, so he will do. He will feed those thoughts. If he does not have a goal, have a plan that he is going to execute, put some action behind it. Because let me tell you this, wherever you are in your thoughts, wherever you are choosing to be there. If you are living in the past, depressed, because Brandon, you say if we living in the past, that's depression, right? If we
Mm-hmm.
are anxious about tomorrow or any other day, next week, then you are dealing with some form of anxiety, which takes you away from the most important thing in your life. Now, right here today, where you are, and where you are is where you ought to be. And what you should do is a mindset, and it's a faith, and it's a trusting in God, you guys. So it's not privy to just one group of people or one person. It's not. You will have some rich people who still have a poverty mindset, a life of poverty, period. Over to you, Brandon.
Thank you, Mom. The war on poverty. I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but the war on poverty was actually a expansive social welfare, excuse me, legislation that was introduced in the 60s. I believe 1964, 65. I think it was voted in 64 and kind of enacted and implemented in 65 by Lyndon B. Johnson. It was called the War on Poverty. And much like other things like the war on drugs, the war on,
You catch that?
huh? What'd you say?
I didn't catch that.
Oh,
I didn't. When you said that I put the two together, I didn't.
oh, okay, okay. Yeah, the war on poverty, like the war on drugs, the war on terrorism, many other things, has unfortunately not given us the results that we wanted. Right. So it was part of a larger legislation reform program known as the Great Society that Johnson hoped would make the United States a more equitable and just country. Right. So it expanded a lot of social welfare programs. Right. Um, but like the war on drugs, there are more drugs now. And so in the war on poverty, there's just been an exacerbation of poverty, inflation, the the minimum wage has not been raised in years, right? And most of our states, but the prices of goods and services have gone up, right? So what I'm saying is we can't depend on the government. We can't be dependent on anything for our abundance except for God, right? And it's very interesting how, and we've made this comparison before, how a bird has no pockets but does not starve. But that bird wakes up every morning, goes out and catches that worm or picks those nuts, and seeds and berries and does the work that it needs to do because there is an abundance inherent to this earth. Everything that we've ever needed has been on this earth. Everything. So we cannot, I mean, we can print as much money as we want, but what do we want versus what do we need? What we need is right outside, y'all. What we need is seeds planted in the ground, grown. What we need is family, right? The people we love. If you have what we need is shelter, and I think I've shared this hadith with you all before. If a man has food for the day, does not has a roof over their head, basically a home, and isn't in fear basically of their life being taken from them, right? Then it's as if they possess the entire world and everything in it. If you have everything that you need for today, you can only need so much, right? You can only be full. Your stomach can only eat so much for the day, right? So if you have that alone, then be grateful because you have, it's as if you have everything in the world and the world itself. So let's not take a lack approach. Let's not take an approach of what we don't have. Many times when we wake up in the morning, have you ever noticed this actually before I even get there? Someone could give you a million compliments. Someone could do you right
Mm.
every single day and just be the most kindest person to you. But you know what? You'll remember that one day they had an attitude. You'll remember that one day where they made you feel a little different. You'll remember that one day where you said something to them and they were maybe a little bit short with you. You won't think about the hundreds of times that they were bright and welcoming and hospitable and compassionate and listened to you, you know, earnestly. Why? Because it's almost I call it a survival thing where we highlight and emphasize the negative because we don't want to have negative experiences. But now in modernity, this was normally built for like if there was a predator out, or if there was a berry that we ate that made us sick, right? We could have eaten a million berries before that, but boy, that one berry, right? It's gonna stick out in our mind because it helped us survive, 100,000 years ago. And oddly enough, our genes, our genetics, our mind, the way that they're built, our bodies have not changed in over 100,000 years. It has not changed. Okay, so we still have some of those instinctual things, but we've let those natural instincts, and we live in an unnatural world in many cases. So we've let that one little negative thing grow in to where it immobilizes us from having the relationships that we need or the consciousness that we need in order to be the most successful. So we're very liable to highlight the negative and depress or diminish the good. Whereas I think in modernity or in general, we should do the opposite. Start from a point of gratitude. Start from a point of what you do have, because what you don't have will not help you, right? Reveling or bringing up what you don't have, or existing in a consciousness of lack will not help you. Right? Saying, "Oh, I don't have this. I didn't grow up with a father. I don't have I don't have AC in my car. I
Brandon,
don't."
in this sense, I didn't grow up with money. I
Right,
didn't grow up having money, right? So how
but
does
you
that make you now in the present? Does
right,
that mean you
right,
don't have to have it
and if
now?
you see, like my even my consciousness, like money isn't even the first thing that I'm thinking
Right,
of when it comes to
right.
a. But I guess in this book, we're all thinking about poverty, right? And so that just goes to say, like, poverty is a mindset. I've been to places and countries where if you looked at them, you would say, "This is poverty,"
Mm.
right? If you've ever driven driven down to any big city in Mexico, and you see the certain neighborhoods, or you pass through certain small towns where people are literally building their homes with boards and stones. I remember being in Oaxaca, and they were using 2-liter plastic bottles filled up with sand, right? And like maybe some cement or something, but mostly sand. They were using filled 2-liter bottles with sand as the foundation for their home, stacked on top of each other, right? And when I tell you those people seem so abundant to me, here we are coming from America, and they welcomed us into their home. We were a group of about 10 people or so. They cooked for us. They showed us how they live. They showed us their fields where they planted their food. They showed us their animals. And how they made their clothes. And they were beautiful people. If you had met them on the street, you wouldn't think, yeah, they live in a house where the foundation is made of plastic bottles and sand. You would think these are distinguished, dignified human beings. But I can come to America, and there are people who have everything: AC, car, running water,
Come on.
And the way that they act is undignified, is unbecoming of the creation of human, the creation of God, which is the human being, right? What did I say? That if the angels lack desire, right? But they have intellect. And the animals lack intellect, but they have desires and instincts. Whereas humans have both desire and intellect. So if a human's intellect overcomes his desires, he can be better than the angels. And if a man's desires overtake his intellect, he can be worse than the beasts or lower than even the animals, right? And so use your intellect to realize that God has already provided everything that you need. These little dollars are made out of the same thing that we're reading here, paper, the same stuff that you, excuse my reference to this, but the same thing you wipe your butt with when you use the restroom. That's what money is made out of. That's what currency is made out of. That's what people are killed over. There are people who have sought to kill their family members for insurance, their husbands, their wives, their mothers, for paper, right? So we have to not look at and stop. It's really a battle of what we value. Do we value people or things? Do you value money more than you value the sanctity of a human life? Because if you do, then that means that you value it more than the sanctity of your own life. Because we are all reflections of one another. What you do to somebody else, you're actually doing to yourself. There are sins that you commit to upon other people by taking away their rights, but some of the worst sins that you can commit are the ones that you commit against your own self, your own flesh, your own consciousness, right? And one of those is staying in a poverty mindset, staying ungrateful, and not acknowledging the abundance that you have before you, right? So let's start today. Let's start. I mean, this is similar to what I spoke about yesterday. When you are grateful, it changes you internally, and it changes how you experience the external world. You know, you might be the person that go off and say, you know what? You don't need anybody else to tell you so what. You can tell yourself so what. While you get out of bed, stub your toe. Are you gonna let that mess up your whole day? Right? You say, oh man, I hit my toe this morning. And your whole day is off. You don't talk to your wife, your husband the same. You're frustrated with your children. You get back in bed because you don't want to get up no more. Whereas there's a person who stubbed their toe, and guess what they said? Oh man, maybe God forgave me for one of my sins. Maybe that pain was me paying in this life for something that maybe I've done, and now it's alleviated from me. You see what I'm saying? And my faith tradition, it says, not even the prick from the thorn of a rose, not even something so small as the prick from the thorn of a rose or a pinch that you might experience, but God does not expiate your sins. That's how merciful of a God that we have. That's how abundant the mercy is. And God is such that if you took from his mercy, if you received some of God's mercy, you did not take anything away. It's like an ocean, to where if you took a bucket out, you didn't decrease it in any amount. Or if you added a bucket of water in, you didn't increase it in any amount. It's abundant in an infinite manner, in an infinite way. So notice this, that God can create ceaselessly. Every breath that you take, every moment that we experience is newly created. God is not only the creator who has created something, and it's in the past tense, but God is ceaselessly creating. There's not a moment that God isn't creating, because the next moment doesn't exist until God creates it. Everything could stop and we'd be sitting here froze on pause or dead if God was not continually creating and decreeing that your heart beat, that your eyes blink, that your nostrils fill with air and your lungs, take in oxygen. So be grateful for the smallest of things, the least of these, before you expect God to give you the most of whatever you desire. Because why would God give you more than what you have right now, and you're not grateful for that. It might drive you into being more of a tyrant
Mhm.
if you
Mhm.
had more, right? It might drive you into worse forms of sin than you are already committing, or things that are even transgressing yourself. And you're sitting here wondering, why don't I have this? Maybe because it's that you're not grateful for what you have right now
Not ready for it
and not
mentally,
ready for
spiritually.
it, or not maintaining what you have right now. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying, guys? And I'm
Mhm.
speaking to myself first, y'all.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
So let's really take inventory of ourselves. Look at yourself in the mirror of your consciousness,
Mhm.
mirror of your mind. Look at yourself. Can you see yourself when you close your eyes? All right. So that's all I have for you guys today. I'm
So,
gonna go over to you, Mo.
Brandon, it reminds me of what you said. People don't want to, let me see, people don't want to make a million. They want to spend $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to look at, so if you get all of this, if you obtain all of this financial success from the world, what do you do with it? You just buy more stuff, right? You just buy more stuff that you can't use, you can use it, but you don't need it, right? So do you want to make $1 million or spend? And if you would spend it, if you make it and you're going to spend it, what would you spend it on? And at the end of the day, is it a basic necessity? Is it something that you absolutely have to have? So, Brandon, as we work to close, the ing. Remember, you told us what the ing words, and I don't know if you notice
Yeah.
it here. Said God helps those who are doing, ing. That's another thing you guys should Google what that means. And Brandon will tell us a little bit today. And striving, and I'm sure there's more words we could add there. But God helps those who are doing, right. She says
Yeah.
striving. Ours is a poor lot, but our spirits must remain full and rich. So that the day that you focus more on making your spirit man, woman, full and rich is the day you become successful. When you put more work into growing inside than trying to get something, money, what you gonna do with it? Buy a big house, you can only sleep in one room, only go through one of the doors. You can only drive one of the cars. And it get to a point you don't even want to do that. Right?
Yeah.
So think about that, you guys. And then this very last part here, the place to overcome lack, unemployment, and financial strife is in the state of your thinking. The person who has a consciousness of limitation, the person who has a consciousness of limitations, whose cup is upside down under the faucet of poverty, I'm sorry, of prosperity. So your cup, imagine you going for a drink of water, faucet, you don't have your cup, it's upside down. So the water, you're not going to be able to drink it. You can't even receive it. And imagine that. Some of us have such a poverty mindset, a distorted position as it relates to poverty or gaining, right? Remember our cup and our cup runneth over and our saucer too. Whose
Mm-hmm.
cup is upside down at the faucet? Who has the small skillet? So they're throwing back the big fish, right? So take some time to think about this. We have to get out of here today. I'm going to say, let me catch up on these comments. And Brandon, you may have some more to say from that. Um, let's see. Da, 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 da. Good morning. Auntie Richetta says, good morning, Butterfly and nephew. She sends love. There is my beautiful Brenda Davis says, great everything, everyone. Kayla had to jump off. And Mike says, well said, Brandon, about something you said. I want to take this time because Miss Brenda, I don't know if you were here from the bottom, top, all the way around my heart. Thank you. So unexpected but so received. I love you and I thank you for the book. Bless you. And I'll be on with you tonight. You and I will get together tonight. I'll send you the link um, sometime this afternoon about noonish. All right. Thank you, Miss Brenda. All right, Brandon, over to you.
All right, y'all. As we come to a close, find someone. Actually, no. Today, I want you to focus on yourself.
Hmm.
Today, I want you guys to focus on yourself. I always say, find out, each one teach one. Today, reach in and teach in. Right, yourself. Today, I want you to focus on abundance. Right. Today, I want you to focus on your so whats. Just because you have a reason does not mean you have an excuse. I'm going to say that again. Just because you have a reason does not mean you have an excuse. You might have a reason of being born into poverty, quote unquote. You might have a reason of not being raised with this person or that person in your life. You might have a reason of this hurting you or impacting you or traumatizing you.
Hmm.
But that does not mean that you have an excuse to stay there. You do not have an excuse to allow that to be so pervasive in your consciousness to where you lead with a foot of lack, a foot of despair, a foot of hopelessness. Okay? Let's not lead with the left foot. Let's lead with the right foot today. The foot of abundance, the foot of I am blessed, the foot of so what? What next? Okay? So as we seek to come to a close, on this 183rd day, the title was The War on Poverty. And again, our quote came from Damon Wayans, the actor and comedian, who said, I grew up so poor that plenty of nights I had sleep for dinner. I had sleep for dinner. And after a brief passage, we came to the inspiration of the day, something for you guys to carry on with you. And again, today we're just going to say it 2 times. We ain't going to say it 3 times. Usually we say it 3 times, one for me, one for you, and one for the person you're going to send it to. But today, I'm saying it for me and I'm saying it for you. Okay? From this day forward, it says, I will be spiritually attuned to the unlimited prosperity that lies at my feet. Remember, I talked about those steps? Put that best foot forward, right? Look at your feet. From this day forward, I will be spiritually attuned to the unlimited prosperity that lies at my feet. Attune, start tuning in to the frequency of abundance and tuning out of the dissonance of lack, the dissonance of despair, the dissonance of depression. If you're depressed, remember you're thinking too much about the past and allowing the past to impact and negotiate the present for you. And if you're anxious, that means you're negotiating, you're letting the future negotiate your present.
Hmm.
And it can't. It's not even here yet. All you have, the only power that you have is the everlasting present. That ever created moment that God keeps creating, that is the right now of right now of right now. As quick as I said it, that moment has passed. And we are still in abundance. Okay? So thank y'all so much for this, for attending the show today. I do hope that you share it with someone. I do hope that this moves you so much to where you go out and you say, hey, I don't know where you're getting your inspiration from. I don't know what you do in the mornings or what your morning routine is before you start your day. But here's something that I've done every single morning. Here's something that motivates me and fills my cup and helps me turn my cup from being upside down under the faucet to right side up, so I can become filled before I go out there and start pouring for anybody else. Okay, so thank you all for the ones that do, that allowed us to be a part of your morning routine, and thank you for joining ours. Okay, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Mom. If you don't have anything else to say, uh, that's all I have for today.
I just will ask the people to Google, and I did put it out there, a poverty mindset, signs of a poverty mindset. It gives a list of things that I think you will really enjoy and need to ponder. So,
Mm.
signs of a poverty mindset, right? Scarcity mindset, a victim mindset. It just gives you a list of things that you may be able to contemplate upon to determine if you're living life from a place of lack, right? So that's all I have, Brandon. Thank you guys for just rocking with us and really, really, I don't know, loving on us. Thank you again, Miss Brenda. Just thank you. So thank you for being here, you guys. That's all I have, Brandon.
All right, y'all. Well, take care. We'll see you tomorrow on day 184 of the. Go like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Take care, y'all.